the FA have decided to scrap FA Cup replays, and are we witnessing the death of English football as we know it right before our eyes? So why is this happening? Well, the Premier League clubs, especially the top six, have been complaining that due to the European competitions expanding, that it is too many games to play if the FA Cup were to have replays. So, I mean, you work this one out because I can't really understand it. So they're complaining about one extra game potentially in the third round of the FA Cup where they could play their B team against Accrington Stanley away, but they're happy to play two legs in every European competition. They're happy to play more group games. They're happy to go on these glamorous pre-season tours where we don't actually get to properly settle in for a pre-season, and they're trying to destroy the English football game as a result of it, and as a result of their inability to win football matches in round 3 and round 4. So why has it been allowed to happen? Well, the FA stupidly openly admitted that 60% of their revenue comes from the FA Cup, and I'm assuming a large portion of this comes from the latter stages when the Premier League clubs are in it. And I mean, to be fair, you can see this by when you look at television's coverages. As a fan of a lower league football club, I'd say we're still lower league. I know we've gone up to the Championship now, but we were a lower league club for a while. I always looked out for the non-league clubs that were in it, but you always saw on the telly, if it was Man United versus Liverpool in round 3, Man United versus Liverpool were going to be the ones on the television, and that is just because they're the ones that make all the money. So, as a result of the Premier League being worth so much, and it also being worth so much to the FA, they have decided that they're going to do anything they can to make sure these 20 clubs stay in the competition, as they no longer need to play in it, because the Premier League is so profitable now. The FA Cup money doesn't make an impact like it does, or like it did 30 years ago. And they know that the lower league clubs are going to have to play in it because they are the ones that financially benefit from the FA Cup, whether that's a big home tie or a television coverage. They know that they are the teams that massively benefit from this. So what are the implications of it to the lower league clubs? Well, I say the ones that would have potentially financially benefited from a replay, whether that's going to a big away ground, and with split ticketing going 50-50, they would have made a lot of money on that. I remember when we went to Tottenham away, it was a big ground, and despite losing and we didn't get a replay, it would have made a massive difference to the financial projection of the year. And if you look at Cheshunt from this past year, they went to Oakwell, earned themselves a draw, got a sold out home ground, and they got television coverage that would have massively helped them keep the doors open for at least another year. You look at Lincoln, who are now touching on the Championship. They had a very impressive FA Cup run to the quarter final where they had 2 replays, and that's helped them propel up the football pyramid. Sutton United, another one that year, that are now in the EFL. So many success stories from the FA Cup, and we're deciding to scrap it now. And it is such a shame because in a time where lower league clubs need financial support, we're deciding to close the door on them and make it almost an exclusive market. With COVID and with increasing costs in football, lower league clubs need more support than ever to keep the doors open. We've seen so many big clubs or former big clubs over the last few years go bust. I mean, I'm sure there's loads more in the non-league system that have gone bust that we haven't been able to hear about because it haven't hit mainstream media. But you know, the big ones: Bury's gone bust, Southend nearly went bust, Scunthorpe nearly went bust, Torquay potentially could go bust, Bolton nearly went bust, Derby. All these big clubs that would maybe financially benefit from an FA Cup run are having doors shut on them because of these elite clubs. And obviously the FA have tried to spin this to make it look like they are the good guys and they're getting a deal for English football. And I say £33 million may sound like a lot to anyone, as it's a massive amount of money just for one person, but when you think that's getting spread across the entirety of English football and not going to the ones that really deserve it, I say it doesn't really sound like a good deal anymore, does it? I mean, from my perspective, I think it's a pathetic attempt. With the amount of money that the Premier League makes each year, to only be given 33 million extra to the football clubs that they're going to be robbing loads and loads of money off of, and they're going to be gaining so much from it as they're going to be able to play their full strength side week in, week out now. I say it is such a shame because they can't be bothered to try and win football matches, and they have to complain about it because it's too hard for them to win trebles. Well, shock, it's meant to be hard to win a treble. It was never meant to be easy. I mean, you look at Man City, Man United, they've both had to do it the hard way, and they deserve it more than any of these clubs that are going to do it in the future, especially Liverpool. As for me, Jurgen Klopp is the main reason that this is happening, and the fact he's leaving English football now, I think anyone outside of Liverpool should really... I respected Jurgen Klopp as a manager, but I do not respect what he's done for English football. I think it's disgusting, and I think that we're going to see a lot of clubs going bust in the near future, or they're going to have to be raising ticket prices and pricing out fans. So that does beg the question, would English football be better without the Big Six? Well, that is a topic for the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe.